I do understand why that the Senate would want a speedy trial. They have a lot of other stuff to do. They have to do more judges, and they have a lot on their plate. But what about accountability and justice? We said this during Kavanaugh. We say it now. Joining me now is Kellyanne Conway, counselor to the president, who I'm sure has been involved in a lot of these conversations about what next. Kellyanne, what is the White House's sense about this? We know you think it's a sham and a scam and a farce and a circus, but what about what's next? Take our viewers to that next step.
Sure. So the next step would be the Senate trial, where, unlike in these ridiculous House proceedings, the president and his attorneys would be permitted to present evidence, challenge evidence, present their own witnesses, challenge witnesses, object. Laura, in no court in this country would you have somebody who's in the role of the judge, Adam Schiff, Jerry Nadler, going off for 3 to 5 minutes, insulting and denigrating the defendant, Donald Trump, who, by the way, can't have his own attorney present. So we want our own president to have fewer due process rights than you would in any regular proceeding. But I have to say, looking forward to the Senate trial, let's focus on this week. This was one of the most successful weeks of the Trump presidency. He got the China trade deal phase 1 done, USMCA done, helping our farmers, auto workers, and lots of other people in this country, Mexico and Canada agreement. He got the NDAA signed again. We've had it in place for over 50 years. The third consecutive pay raise for our military on his watch. The third consecutive $700 billion plus investment in our military on his watch. The paid family leave, Space Force. That was all just this week, and we haven't even got to Friday yet.
So is the sense. So
Kellyanne, you see the split-screen presidency.
Yeah. What is your sense then? It's better to just, again, as Ed said, take the win and move on to substance?
No, because we've already got the win.
Yeah,
no,
because
we've already got the win.
Yeah,
we're already on substance. The president has been, he's been doing the business of his people. He's focused on what's important. They're focused on impeachment. No, I think we don't just, quote, take the win, because you have to I think you fully exonerate the president. And we haven't had a chance to do that. I think the Democrats really screwed up the process many times here. She shouldn't have called for the impeachment inquiry, Nancy Pelosi, before she saw the transcript. She should not have done a lot of things.
Do you think Kellyanne, you read people really well.
Yes.
Yeah, you read people really well. Do you think we were talking about this earlier, I'm just curious your opinion. Do you think Pelosi is kind of like saying, what did I do? I mean, inside, it's a guess.
Has to be. A year ago, she was whipping the votes to getting people to vote for her for speaker. She almost didn't make it, if you remember. There were a lot of talk about people who had promised to get new leadership, fresh faces, new blood once they came to Washington as newly elected Democratic members of Congress were not going to vote for her for speaker. She got those votes. She got it done. And I think since then, that was probably her best day, because since then, the agenda that has actually passed and is meaningful is the Trump agenda. He's been pushing for balanced reciprocal trade in China and with USMCA. Space Force is his and Vice President Pence's
Well, they don't care about the substance. Yeah, they're not on substance. They're on destruction and takedown.
They don't have any wins. And there's something else going on here. I think that they all missed an opportunity to be here tonight. The President and the First Lady hosted the annual bipartisan congressional black tie affair here. The Democrats could have come and said, Mr. President, why don't you come to my district? I have the most seniors prescription drugs. Why don't you come? USMCA is going to help the farmers in my district. They're busy impeaching him instead of being here at the White House with the President, the First Lady, and everybody else and saying, hey, how can we work together? They have no interest in this. I think it's going to cost them dearly. They don't want to work together, but we just ignore that. It's almost been like an out-of-body experience for us. We're not participating in it, but we will be there for the Senate trial to be a real trial that the country can relate to.
As I said, after the Kavanaugh travesty of justice, people leaked documents and they never paid. They never were really exposed.
Well, they paid insofar as he's on the court, and they'll pay insofar as Donald Trump will remain as president for 5 years.
But we have bad actors still in the FBI, and we have bad actors who are still in politics, who are dragging this country through an impeachment. Kellyanne, great to see you tonight. Thanks so much for being with us.